Must be some kind of mistake.
You know, I was asking G-Man if he wanted to come on and talk to Thunderfoot because Thunderfoot said he would talk to him. But I sent him some messages and he didn't respond to him. But I think normally the way G-Man does it is we have to call him just out of the blue, so it seems like we ambushed him.
Yeah, so then he feels more defensive.
Yeah, let's do that.
You want me? I'll call him really quick right now just to see if he answers. Let's see if he does. It'd be hilarious.
G-Man.
Let's see. I put to add him to the group call. Hey, G-Man. I don't know if he's there yet. Let's see.
G-Man.
G-Man?
Hello?
Hey, G-Man.
Hey.
Hey, G-Man. I sent you some messages, but you didn't reply, so I just called you. Is that okay?
Yeah, I was in the middle of leaving a message concerning Aaron Raw, but cool, I got no problem with that. What's up?
Thunderfoot wanted to talk to you. I thought maybe you guys could discuss something like maybe even evolution, since you don't believe in evolution, or you believe in microevolution, right?
Does he want to talk about that now?
Yeah, he's here right now. Yeah, we're on the show live right now.
Oh, okay. Wow, this is impromptu. Okay, I'm not prepared for it, but yeah, I would like to have a chat.
That's
with
all right.
him.
I'm not prepared for it either.
Oh, they called you out of the blue?
No, but this is completely out of the blue. No one said we'd be talking about any of this, so yeah, it's out of the blue.
Okay, so let me let you know what my position is on this. I do believe that God created the heavens and the earth. I have a hard time believing that the theory of evolution is actually science. I believe that is something else. But and my issue is with one of many issues I have with macroevolution.
So I mean, for me, evolution is basically no more than just saying the gene pool is plastic to the environment. Do you have a problem with that?
You said plastic to the environment?
Yeah.
What do you mean by
that? That the gene pool changes over time, yes?
Yes, according to the theory of evolution, yeah.
Right, and so the actual instances of the organisms that you get out of those genes are selected for by the environment, such that they eventually morph to fit the environment. The gene pool is plastic to the environment. I mean, it's no more a crazy statement than saying that pool water tends to fit the bottom of a puddle.
Okay. Well, my question for you would be: is what examples do you have of one kind of an animal becoming another kind of animal over a long period of time? I can understand what you mean by mutation.
Irrelevant. Right? I mean, it's if you accept that the gene pool is plastic to the environment, that's it. Then you accept evolution is correct. Is a real mechanism.
Okay. Again, I'm not prepared for this, but no, I don't believe
neither
that.
am I. But I mean, it's a statement of bloody obvious.
No, it's not bloody obvious, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. Because according to macroevolution, apparently we have and excuse me from the definition I'm using because I don't have my notebook in front of me, which I'm looking for right now. According to macroevolution, we have a canine. A canine is capable of becoming something that is not a canine, okay? And we don't have any actual observable evidence for this particular so-called form of evolution, okay? But if you have some actual
let's just start with the obvious. Life is genetically based, yeah?
According to scientists, yep.
And those genes change from generation to generation.
Over a long period of time, yep.
Okay. And
so what's your point?
Is selection of those genes by the environment.
Hello?
Hello? So basically, what you expect over time is that the genes will be selected by the environment.
No,
you
actually,
change
over
the environment,
a long period of time, I expect the dog to look a little... I expect the dog to look a little different from the other dogs, or the wolves to look a little bit different from the wolves, but they're still going to be a wolf.
Let's not talk about, or let's not worry about those minor details yet. Let's just see if we can actually agree that the gene pool is plastic to the environment.
See, I don't know if I would word it that way. I would say that according to the theory of evolution, at least based on the way I understand it, is that over a long period of time we see, like, changes in fur, changes in the size of their eye, or changing like how big the foot is.
And what do you think causes that? What do you think is causing that at a molecular level?
I believe mutations, if I'm not mistaken. On a and on the level that you're talking about, I can't get into
You're talking about
changes
to the gene pool.
Okay.
Right,
yeah,
so
but what examples do we have
to the environment?
Okay, so what examples do we have that's observable, something that we can see with our eyes? Because in order for it to be science,
you've just named them.
Yeah, I said mutations, but we don't have any actual examples of mutations actually becoming something that is not a canine. What examples?
So now,
with your own two eyes?
Look, there are two levels to this, right? The first of all is you've got to accept that the gene pool is plastic to the environment. That we seem to be mostly on the same page on. And then you keep drifting off into speciation, which is actually as a rates of gene flow thing. So once you actually get up to speciation, what you're actually now talking about is the ability of gene pools can become bifurcated and eventually separate completely to the point where they can no longer have offspring, or first of all fertile offspring, and then offspring at all.
Now,
right?
one
This
thing
is how
G-Man
speciation works.
One thing G-Man has said to me before in the past is that he doesn't like the word species because that doesn't really have a clear definition. He prefers the word kinds.
Actually,
exactly.
It's right, but this is the thing. There is only one sensible definition, and that's, can you actually reproduce to produce fertile offspring? If you can't, then that's what we would say they're no longer the same species.
Okay,
right? Now, these are
species,
probabilistic. Sorry?
We're not talking about species no more. We're talking about kinds. And when I say kinds, I'm talking about canines, felines, and we don't have one example that we have actually seen with our own two eyes, or something that is observable where we see a feline becoming something that is not a feline. That does not require faith, by the way.
Okay. Look,
before you guys start laughing and everything, please understand something. According to the definition of science, it's something that is testable and something that is observable. Okay, and it doesn't require faith. And the definition of faith
are you
I
actually
am using
lecturing me on what
is the claim. Is? No, I'm not.
Yes,
but I'm telling you that evolution is actually a claim with actually no proof, because you can't actually see it yourself. What I got to do is take your word for it that over a very long period of time, these things are actually happening, since I can't actually see it.
PCS3.
Look, we sort of agreed on. I think we've more or less agreed that the gene pool is plastic to the environment. I think we agree on that one, right? The only thing that we now need to work out is, can you actually bifurcate that gene pool, and can it split such that those two subsequent sub-gene pools can no longer produce fertile offspring?
Oh, okay. I see where you're coming up. I see what you're talking about. You're still talking about species, because you believe that something becomes a different species when they can't mate with each other no more. That's what you're talking about.
That's correct.
Okay, so I'm not talking about species. I'm talking about kinds. Okay, I want to see a dog become a non-dog. Give me an example of a dog becoming a non-dog.
Okay. You take a dog and you burn it. It's no longer a dog.
That's a phenomenal joke. The only problem is it doesn't prove macroevolution.
No, but then again, look. I'm not even sure what you're actually talking about here. But
don't worry, this happens to us all the time.
The thing is, look.
I try to clear it to you
Let's start with something simple. Like, I can tell you what I mean by species. It's that you can actually have a gene pool that can actually breed to produce fertile offspring. Right? That's generally what we're talking about when we refer to a species. Now, there is some plasticity in there, and that these are essentially probabilistic things because you're dealing with the gene pool. There are the most easiest example is there are tall individuals and shorter individuals, and sometimes that can be a factor. But generally, if you can reproduce to produce fertile offspring, you are members of the same species. What do you mean when you say things are the same kind?
What I mean by this is this, okay? A wolf, okay, and a dog, or a wolf and let me see something that's part of the wolf family. A gray wolf, a white wolf, a chihuahua dog. All of those guys are dogs. All of those animals are dogs. All right.
Is a coyote a dog?
Yes, a coyote.
Is a golden jackal a dog?
It's part of the dog family, but I think what you're going to try to argue is you're going to say, well, they can't mate with each other, so therefore.
Is it the dog kind?
They're part of the dog family, as far as I know.
So why do you draw the definitions at dog kind? Why not?
I don't deny natural selection. I don't
or animal kind.
I don't deny natural selection. I don't deny the fact that microevolution or copying yourself when you have a baby and whatnot. That I don't deny. Macroevolution, however, which is the claim where one kind becomes another kind, is basically a fairy tale. It's not true.
Just tell me
it's
what
not
a
science.
Kind is.
It ain't something if it's like a kind is a canine or a feline or something in the elephant the elephant family.
So what's a hyena? What's a hyena, G-Man? Is that a canine or a feline?
I think it's part of the canine family. I can actually check that
Nope.
out. Let me check. I think it's part of the dog family, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's
No,
a debate.
it's not.
But some people believe that is part of the cat family.
Which one is it though?
I would say the dog family. It's based on where I'm at right now. But since this is a discussion about macroevolution, I would like to see some observable evidence according to the definition of science.
You're not actually your definition of a kind is that there is dog kind. That's not actually terribly useful. What criterion are you using to determine if it's a dog or not?
Oh boy! If it comes from the dog family, through the process of natural selection, like for example, if you start off with gray wolves, the example that they like to use in evolution.
What are the criterion? I'm not after examples. I'm after the criterion.
Well, sir, I don't have a criteria to give you right now. This is impromptu. I have my notes.
You don't have a definition.
It doesn't make a difference. You still can't give me any observable evidence for one kind becoming another kind.
Well, that's obvious. That's a tautology, seeing as you can't tell me what a kind is.
Tell me something. How long would it take for a gray wolf to become something other than a gray wolf? I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. How long would it take for a gray wolf to become?
The parameter space is too complicated for me to give a concise answer to such things.
No, I'm asking you a direct. But I'm asking you a direct question. Just hear me out of it, okay? How long would it take? How long would it take? Okay, cool. How long would it take for a canine to become a non-canine?
I don't know. But I can tell you that it'll depend on certain parameters. It'll depend on the size of the gene pool and the actual environmental pressures on that gene pool. Gene pools that are actually just fairly... Sorry?
Have you ever seen a canine become a non-canine before? Have you ever seen this with your own eyes?
Well, G-Man,
no, but I've never seen an eclipse on Pluto, but I know that they occur.
Yeah, G-Man, if it takes, like Thunderfoot saying, if it takes a long time for evolution to occur, how could you find someone alive that could actually observe, one species becoming another?
Ben or Scott? I just want to make sure I know who I'm talking about.
Ben
or Scott?
It's Ben.
Oh, okay, Ben. Okay, cool, Ben. That's a very good question. And if it takes a long period of time, that proves my point. It can't be something according to our present definition of science that is observable or something that is testable. You know what I mean? I have to
so this is just semantics, basically. Then it's
this
just
is not semantics.
this is how we define science, right?
No, I'm being dead up real. Go look at the definition of science. It's something
Oh,
that
I know the definition of science. We know the definition
Yeah.
of science, but
Yeah.
the thing is that Ben, the point I think Ben was trying to make to you was he sees what you're saying is a semantics game. You're saying, well, science, but to read science has to meet this definition, but what we're saying is there's fossil records. There's a lot of evidence for evolution occurring, and I mean you can go.
So
look
can I
at
ask
that
another
evidence.
question about that? Then can I ask another question about?
No. Wait. Let Thunderfoot say what he wants to say about it, and then you can ask your next question.
This is the thing. We make what we call reasonable inferences based on what we know. So, for instance, we didn't have telescopes that could see Neptune or Pluto till, I don't know, the 1930s or whatever, 1900s, something like that, right? Do you think that Pluto and Neptune were still orbiting the Sun for 100 years previous to that?
Do I believe that Neptune was orbiting the sun previous to what you just said?
We have no observations of it whatsoever. Do you believe that it was there?
According to what I understand about science, if the planets were there, of course it was orbiting the sun.
Fantastic. Great. Okay, right. So what you've done is you've taken what you know about the system, which is that planets orbit the sun. They don't really do much else. And you made an extrapolation based on those observations. Now, likewise, we actually know how gene flows work. Right? We know it's a relatively slow process. We know that it's mostly about shuffling alleles around and that sort of thing. Right? But we know the fundamentals that the gene pool is plastic to the environment and those gene pools can bifurcate, and that's what we call speciation. Right? That's all that you need to know is that the gene pool is plastic to the environment. Right? Once you've done that, everything else is just in the details.
Okay, Mr. Thunderfoot, I just want to let you know something real quick. When you asked me that question about Saturn orbiting the sun, I accepted that by faith. I didn't have any scientific proof of that, according to your definition, though. And if that is acceptable and reasonable, if that is something that is reasonable on your part, then you are basically saying that you're accepting
G-Man, you realize
certain
that
scientific things by faith.
G-Man, you've realized that we've launched probes past Saturn and have taken pictures of them, and we have telescopes that can see Saturn. And
so they tell us, yes. So they tell us.
So this is just a big conspiracy?
I'm not saying it's a conspiracy. I'm just saying so that they tell us. I'm just keeping it real. I believe a lot of what you guys are hearing in science is based on faith and is not based on what you guys would consider empirical evidence.
So like
something that you can actually see.
So like pictures that like the Voyager probes took, that's just faith, right?
Yeah, it's all
they give us pictures of Planet X too, but if I'm not mistaken, didn't they say that Planet X was not a real
Planet X?
The scientists tell us stuff all the time. There's no cure for AIDS, but then
so hold on. Thunderfoot, your thoughts on Planet X? Planet X?
I've got no idea.
Do you fight robots and get laid at the same time? Like, it's Planet X.
Actually, that's a good one. Yeah.
But I have another question.
Is this a Grindhouse movie or what's going on?
I was about to say it's like Planet 4X, but a lot cleaner.
But I have another question for Mr. Thunderfoot.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everything evolved from one common ancestor, right? Can you tell me what the common ancestor was?
No.
So you don't know what the common ancestor was that everything in life evolved from?
No. How could anybody know that?
Well, what I can tell you is, let's start with some fairly simple stuff like chemistry, right?
Okay, cool. Okay.
What do you know about life? Like
what do I know about life?
At a microscopic level.
I'm living it large. I'm living it large. That's what I know about life.
Put that, G-Man, put that on a T-shirt. For your next video. I'm living life and I'm living it large.
Yes, please do that.
Please.
By the way, I got something I need to tell the Amazing Atheist. I'm sorry, guys. I got to tell the Amazing Atheist and Ben something and Scott. I have a very special present for you guys coming soon. You guys made a comment about me on one of your videos saying that, G-Man's always nice to us and I don't talk about TJ and none of my raps and whatnot. So I got one that is going to be dedicated to the Drunken Peasants program, especially when Coach Dusty was here.
Okay.
So, and to TJ, you said that you don't take things personal. I know you said something personal. okay, and that you guys understand that you guys are jokative and all this, and you've been promising me a rap battle. I went on your comments, and these guys.
All right, G-Man, we've caused more people to listen to what you say than anybody else.
Yeah.
So
truly,
and now you're talking to Thunderfoot, so talk to him instead of us.
Yeah.
No disrespect, Thunderfoot. No, I'm making a rap about them. It's going to be out very soon.
I will. Thanks for promoting it. We will check it out. We'll probably play it on the show.
Yeah, we'll play it on the show.
It's going to happen for the most part. And then I'll do a response rap.
Yeah, sure.
Ben can fucking do a rap beat. I'll do it. Whatever. It should be funny. I wonder which one of us is a worse rapper. I don't know. People are going to be discussing that for a long time.
That is going to be a discussion.
A worse rapper? Oh, okay, cool, okay.
Because I might be worse than you. I don't know. We'll see.
So anyway, G-Man, what do you know about life on the cellular level?
Not a lot. I'm not a scientist, so you go get your empiricism for that kind of stuff and whatnot.
What? No. We do not want true empiricism.
Yeah, but he's definitely more qualified to talk about that particular thing.
No, he's not. Anyway, Thunderfoot.
Agreed.
TJ is going to get served.
But Thunderfoot, you don't know what the common ancestor is. So if you don't know what it is, then how do you... Oh, it does matter, because again, my argument against macroevolution has something to do with that. If you don't even know what the common ancestor was, then how in the world can you come up with a process saying that over a long period of time...
For the same
G-Man, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'll let Thunderfoot go, actually.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Look, we don't actually know all of the detail. Right. Let's take, for instance, I don't know, planets around another star. Right? We might not know they exist yet, but if they do, we accept that they will follow the rules, the rules that we describe our solar system by.
G-Man says that that's just conspiracy theories. We just take that on faith.
This is inductive reasoning, and the reason this is actually fairly good stuff is because it is predictive capability, which is the ultimate goal of science, right? Science, as an endeavor, is basically to accurately describe reality, because if you can accurately describe reality, you can accurately make predictions, right? And that's basically how we know things are true. Right? If we can make predictions of what things will look like in the future, then that's a pretty good indicator that we're on the right tracks for understanding what the hell's going on. And in this sense, we know what's actually happening on the microscopic level when we look at gene mutations, when we look at allele populations and gene pools. We know how these are expressed as populations of animals. We know that those are selected for by the environment, and after this, all you do is iterate with time, and you get evolution.
Okay, so you don't know what the common ancestor is. Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Do you disagree with anything that I said?
I disagree with the fact that people are saying that macroevolution is true, and they don't even know what the common ancestor was. I didn't say that. Did you disagree with anything that I said? I disagree with the fact that you might actually know what the common ancestor is, when I know nobody knows what it is.
I didn't say anything about that. Do you disagree with anything that I said?
No, I guess. For right now,
there we go. No. Right, so we're on the same page then.
I don't know about that, Thunderfoot.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about it either, Thunderfoot. But listen, Mr. Thunderfoot, my argument goes like this. If you don't know what the common ancestor was, then you're accepting whatever it was, because apparently it depends on what atheists
we know what our closest common ancestor
is. Hold on. Let me just...
Water.
Hey, G-Man.
We don't need the original common ancestor.
Yes. Hold on. Let me just pose a question to G-Man. If you walk into a room, and let's say I'm laying there and I'm bleeding, and you determine that I've been shot, what caliber of bullet was I shot with? Do you know? Do you know who shot me? You know that I've been shot because you see the evidence of it.
Nice example.
Okay, yeah. I see
And I mean, you know there was a bullet. You know there was something with the properties of a bullet, but you don't know exactly, specifically which bullet. And that's the same situation that's happening here. We have a general idea of what the properties of the first organism were, but we can't tell you specifically because there's no fossil of it exists.
Now, let me tell you why that doesn't work, TJ. Because if somebody were to shoot you and they took you to the hospital and yes, they had a little hole there and whatnot, they would need to know as much information as possible before they could operate on you. And ultimately, if they can get the information on what kind of bullet it would actually go a long way to saving your life.
But the reason that it makes such a wonderful example is that
actually, you just cut me off.
Sorry. But you're sitting there in the hospital saying, I don't believe he was shot because you can't tell me what caliber of bullet it was.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
That pretty much, G-Man, if you really extrapolate it, that is what you're saying. I'm sorry. But, you can't tap dance around it, dude. That's pretty much what you're saying. No, you're saying that we have to offer you a specific example of the first organism ever. And if we don't know every single little last detail of it, the whole thing must be false.
No,
and that's a preposterous notion.
I'm happy you said that, though, because that's how the atheists feel towards God. If we don't have every last single little detail when it comes to God, you guys claim,
now we're
God's
shifting to God. We're shifting to God.
I'm not shifting to God. I'm not
yes,
shifting
you
to God.
I'll say this, G-Man. I'll say this. I don't care about God. I don't believe there is a God or exists. I just don't even think about it. To be honest with you, I'm not sitting there with this vitriol, I hate Christians.
We wanted you to talk to Thunderfoot about evolution, not God. So prove to him.
So let's talk about evolution then.
Okay, so you're the one who started talking about God and shit. None of us were talking about that.
He's already demonstrated in this conversation that he does not have any observable evidence that macroevolution is true, that does not require some form of faith. Because he needs faith in order to believe that it takes a very long time, and he has never actually seen it with his eyes.
Proof of evolution, period, is proof that all evolution is true. That's
what we're saying.
I mean, what you're saying makes no sense. It's like you're saying that evolution can happen slowly on a small scale, but not hugely on a large scale. That's like saying something that's traveling 60 miles an hour in one direction can only get a certain distance and then can't get any further. Because you already admit that so-called microevolution is happening. There is no micro and macro evolution. There's just evolution.
That's not true.
That is true.
And to actually take TJ's example a little further, it really is like saying, from our scientific endeavors, we know that bullets are shot from guns. We know that they can cause massive tissue damage. And we have a body with a big gunshot hole in it, and we show this to you, and you say, well, that wasn't caused by a bullet because you can't tell me what caliber it was.
It takes faith. I mean,
we know...
it takes faith to believe it was a bullet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though we have the guy who shot the gun saying, I'm glad I shot the bastard, and you're sat there still saying, I don't believe he was shot because you can't tell me what bullet what size bullet it was.
It's very easy for you to come to that conclusion listening to yourself talk, but even this audience here is saying, let G-Man talk, and you're not doing it. But anyway,
G-Man!
G-Man done pulled a Rocky IV. The Russians are cheering for him now.
Well, I'm looking at the comments, and they want me to talk. So here's the thing now, okay? The bottom line is, Thunderfoot, is the reason why I need to know what the common ancestor is. I need to know if it was a fish, whether or not it was blue-green algae on a rock. I need to know what it is, because my next question for you is how did it get from either blue-green algae, a fish, a microorganism, or whatever the heck it was, since you don't know what it was, to its next stage without me having to use faith? Because once faith,
let me tell you, just like
science.
I know what it was. A tap dancing frog. Just like solved the mystery.
It was Michigan J Frog.
Kermit the Frog. You're right. It was Kermit. Ribbit.
No, it was Michigan J. Michigan J Frog.
You got it, Ben. You know.
So Thunderfoot, I'd like to hear your explanation on this, since you don't know what the common answer.
So just like we know that bullets are shot from guns, we know that gene pools are plastic to the environment, right? And because the gene pool is plastic to the environment and the environment is fairly dynamic, this means that the gene pool is also fairly dynamic. And that's how it got from one organism to another.
Because it was plastic?
Yes, because the gene pool is plastic to the environment.
Okay. Okay, can you do me a favor just for the sake of the people? Because I don't even think they understand what plastic is. Can you just go into detail for me and explain what do you mean by plastic?
Right.
Thunderfoot. You're using big words on me, Thunderfoot. It's
no.
It reminds me of when Ray Comfort was like, Thunderfoot, you got to explain it easier to me. It was like...
Yeah, TJ, the atheist nightmare, the banana. The banana, TJ.
He's actually using a technique, actually, right now. But before I call him out on it,
it's called reasoning.
It's called.
Oh!
You know what it's called? Cheerios. Sound like I'm smart when I'm not.
Oh, shut up! Shut up!
Oh my God! Really?
You're gonna do the accent card? Holy shit!
Whoa!
What do you mean, jabroni? When you say that it's plastic, I want to know. You do understand what the means?
Didn't I explain this in the first 10 minutes?
Yes. You gave me this.
Are you saying that his accent is a tactic?
This War and Peace answer, in which you didn't answer my question.
G-Man, I know you're all amped up right now, but you have to put that line in your next rap.
About plastic?
No. His accent is a tactic. Talking about plastic up on the Drunken Peasant show. What do you got that, G-Man?
That would be fairly brutal.
You sound like Wade Barrett.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, he's a no.
The Barrett barrage I'm dealing with right now.
No, it's not.
I don't really think you can help where you have an accent from. I don't really hold that against someone or consider it about the person.
G-Man, is his tactic that he's just using words that you don't understand, and that's like...
No, I think he's just talking out of his butt, and I don't think he understands.
Really? You don't think he knows what he's talking about?
I must disagree.
You know what? Basically what he's saying is this plastic bag. I wish you guys could see this was in my hand right now. But basically what he's saying is...
No, it takes faith to believe you have it.
Bag.
Faith plus one.
I know you guys hear this plastic bag I have in my hand.
I don't know what that is. You can't prove it.
That's like a paper bag to me.
Plastic bag.
I think we're going with paper here. Paper, yeah, paper bag.
We're going with paper over here, G-Man. We think it's paper.
Yeah, it's definitely paper. Yeah. So Thunderfoot, could you please define for me in a very short, condensed version what you mean by plastic? Please don't take 20 years to explain it. If you don't mind, thank you.
20 years.
So you want me to make something that's complicated, even more idiot than I've already done?
Yes. Do it for dummies. Do it for dummies. How about that? Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I did explain this in the first 10 minutes, and I actually asked you after that, did you agree with it all? And you said yes.
You're talking about gene pools. Let's explain it one more time.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, an individual has a genome. Mm-hmm. A population has a gene pool. Are you with me so far?
Right. I'm with you all the way.
Though that gene pool changes over time.
Okay.
Right? And what drives that change over time is the environment.
Okay.
Right? So the gene pool actually follows the contours of the environment. That is, just like the gene pool follows the environment, just like water follows the bottom of a pond. Right? Now, it's not as responsive as water is to a pond. It's much more. It's more like it's treacle, right? It's in fact it's much harder than treacle. It's plastic, right? But it does nonetheless change to the environment. If the environment changes, the gene pool inevitably follows. That's why we say that the gene pool is plastic to the environment.
Okay, now let me explain to you why I'm asking you this question and why I brought the common ancestor and everything and whatnot. If everything is the way you're describing it, sir, then that means everything came from one common ancestor. We're talking people, animals, insects, trees, all of life. Now, I'm going to ask you this question again that I asked you from the very beginning. I'm going to ask you this question. action in the beginning. What observable evidence do you have? And I'm not even going to use canines, where you have a tree becoming, say, an insect or something like that, or a tree becoming something that is a non-tree over a very long period of time.
So, well, okay, that would be quite easy.
Yes,
that would be. We have that from the fossil record.
When we have fossils of trees, okay, cool. So just real quick for me, explain to me how we go from having a tree to a non-tree. And then the fossil records, because you're telling me basically to listen to the scientists. I actually want observable evidence. You're not listening to what I'm saying to you. I want observable evidence that does not require faith, okay, to prove to me that a tree can become a non-tree.
This is the thing, right? For the history of life on Earth, we don't actually have the genome stored, right? Because the molecules that make up life are actually fairly labile. They don't last long, right? You put them out in the environment, they rot away, they get decayed by the sunlight, by heat, they get washed around by the rain, all that sort of thing, right? The biomolecules don't last that long. So we don't actually have that much in the way of genetic information. The only genetic information that we've actually got stored is in the current generation of the gene pool, which does actually carry a genetic heritage with it. So that would be the first line of reasoning about how we actually know about the hierarchies of previous life on Earth. It's from the current sequencing of the genomes. Right. The second mechanism, we don't have a complete record of life on Earth, but we do have some of the bones. Some of the bones are preserved in things called fossils, and we can actually see how the skeletal bodies of previous generations of the gene pool have changed to the environment. And so this is what we would call a fossil record. Where we have really quite complete sequences of things like elephants, pachyderms, changing from one to the other, or whales, or horses, or I'm running out of it. Well, whatever. There are actually quite a lot of examples of modern mammals. Where you have really quite extensive ideas of how the gene pool has changed over time.
Okay, so basically what you're telling me is you don't know how a tree can become a non-tree.
That's a remarkably little and shallow statement to derive from what he just said.
Yeah.
No, I got my reasons. Listen, how about I do this for you? I can tell you how a tree can become a non-tree.
I can tell you how a tree can
No.
become a non-tree.
You get an axe, you cut down the tree, and then you make a table or you make a stool or something like that. That's how it becomes a non-tree. But how it happens through the process of evolution, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
No. It's very easy.
And you don't have any observable evidence for it.
No, you just need a miracle.
Yeah, and a miracle from God, definitely, because not even God says that he can turn
and
a
you know
tree
what?
into a non-tree.
That's why we don't
unless he
see
makes a table
trees
or stool or
becoming
something.
non-trees, because miracles don't happen.
Miracles do happen, and you can't prove that they don't.
Well, have
Stay
you
away
ever
from the
seen a
Bible. Stay
tree
away from the
becoming
Bible,
a
stick with
non-tree?
science.
Have you ever
Yes,
seen
I
a
have.
tree become a
Yes, I
non-tree?
have actually, and I can do a better job of explaining it than you. I get an axe, I cut down the tree, and I make a stool, and do a whole lot of science, a whole lot of process. I cut down the tree. You know what I mean?
G-Man is an accomplished woodworker.
And I get a stool. I get like a bowl. I can make 2x4s. Those aren't trees no more. Okay, and that was simple. Now everyone can understand that, but I'm asking you to explain to me how a tree can become a non-tree, how a dog can become a non-dog.
He's actually explained the mechanism whereby that happens several times now.
Yes, at least
he has
twice.
no transitional fossils. He doesn't know what the common ancestors.
We just told you we do have transitional fossils.
The equestines and the
Well, he has
seasons.
genes.
G-Man, what is the common ancestor anyway? Like, we know. Do you realize that whatever the first form of life was, it's so far removed from us, but we have enough common, we have enough species out there that have common ancestors to us to know that we have them. So
the reason why it's so important to me
We have a common ancestor with every species on Earth.
Okay, but everything started with one, and because of this one common ancestor, we got life on Earth. We got trees, we got plants, we got insects, we got birds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We got people. Right. Now here's the thing, okay? Apparently, according to the theory of evolution, we're all related. And when I say all related, we are. You're related to the food that you eat, the apples, the bananas, the strawberries, berries. You're related to the fish in the water. You're related to all these other people, and these apparently are your guys' distant cousins and whatnot, according to your theory and whatnot. According to my Bible, they're not my distant cousins. I have dominion over these things. You know what I mean? And my relatives are.
So it's a better deal, is what you're saying.
No, it's not a better deal. It's just common sense. Anyone that believes that they're related to a tomato got issues. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Well, if the evidence indicates that we're related to tomatoes, why would we deny that? Why is it such a dishonorable thing to be related to a tomato?
Because there is no evidence that would suggest that you're related to a tomato.
There is mountains of evidence. The entire field of evolution that you've done nothing to discredit.
And also, it must be said that the mere fact
my question has no observable evidence that
Thunderfoot has explained. No, Thunderfoot has explained the exact mechanism whereby this happens in explicit detail, and you continuously just come away with simplistic gibberish.
No, I'm coming away saying that he has no observable evidence, something he's seen with his own 2 eyes. He has never seen a tree becoming on tree or a dog becoming on dog.
That.
This has already been covered.
All right, G-Man.
Okay,
G-Man, you have 1 minute to make a better point.
You want to kick me out? Kick me out. Thunderfoot.
Oh no.
It's all good.
We're not.
See, I told you he was going to do that.
It's all good.
G-Man won. Another
victory for G-Man.
Yeah.
G-Man. How does he do it?
Another G-Man victory.
The smackdown laid down on another troop of atheist scum.
I like to continue this conversation one day, Thunderfoot. Come to Preaching to the Choir Ministries, and I will show you not only that you're wrong about evolution, but I will prove to you that God is real.
G-Man fought long and hard for this victory.
This is gonna be worth a laugh.
G-Man. Yeah. Yo, G-Man, I did it.
Remix.
All right.
Come on, Thunderfoot, ho! Don't even try.
Thunderfoot, he just called you
a hoe.
Yeah,
he did.
I thought things were going pretty civil until now. Jeez.
No. I don't think he understands. Like the Thundercats.
Yeah. We got it, G-Man. We're just.
I think I picked up on that.
Thunder. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just wanted to put that out.
It's all good.
So go on, prove to me that God exists.
Yeah. Prove to him. Now he wants you to prove to him that God exists.
What? Hold on.
Yeah. TJ, can I talk to him about God now? Because he
okay. I'll tell you what. We want to move on to some other stories, but we'll give you a decent chunk of time to try to convert Thunderfoot to a Christian.
We'll give you like 5 minutes, and then Thunderfoot gets 5 minutes, and then that's the end.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. No problem. Thunderfoot. You do understand that answered prayer is proof that God exists, right?
You're gonna lead with that one?
I'm gonna kick his butt.
That's a pretty rhetorical question, you know.
Okay, but
no. Hold on. Let me tell Thunderfoot. G-Man believes that he has a 100% answered prayer rate.
Oh, that's really? Right. Can you pray that it rains naked women in whatever Rebecca Watson's study?
Why would a Christian pray for that, Thunderfoot? I'm curious. Why would a Christian pray for that?
To prove that your prayers are always answered.
Oh, and also G-Man is an authority on who is and is not a Christian too. Just want to let you know that.
Naked women avalanche, G-Man. That's what we're after.
Last week that Catholics are not Christians, and it never was.
Catholics are not Christians.
No, they're
definitely not.
And anybody's got a problem with the Come to Preaching to the Choir Ministries, and I'll prove to you that that's
Preaching
the case.
to the Choir Ministries.
That's right. Preaching to the Choir Ministries.
Just think of how many Muslims you could convert for praying for a naked woman avalanche in Mecca.
Okay, but why would I want to pray for that? Do you know what the Bible says about prayer?
Because you would save so many Muslim souls. What
does the Bible say about prayer, Thunderfoot? I mean, you know all the stuff about science. What does the Bible says about prayer? I'm curious. Do you know?
If three or more ask for it, then it shall be true, or something like that.
And that's what the Bible teaches about prayer.
Yep.
That's what the Bible teaches about prayer. Wow, I hope you know,
yeah.
I'm going to make a video response. I'm going to make a video response to what you just said, but just to let you give you the heads up. But that's not what the Bible says about prayer, my friend. Prayer is communication with God.
Does the Bible say that if three or more are gathered together in Jesus' name, then their prayer shall be answered?
Actually, word for word, that's not what it says. And then the Bible says a whole bunch of things about prayer.
Word for word, but is that what it says?
And if you believe that that's the only thing that the Bible says about prayer, then you're sadly mistaken, sir.
Right, so the Bible has a lot of contradictions. We get it.
Okay, yeah. So let me give you my answer to prayer.
Does the Bible say that if three or more are gathered together in Jesus' name, that ask and it shall be given?
Well, do you want to hear the answer to prayer argument? Yes or no?
Go for it.
Okay, cool.
Actually, let's just see if we can clear up. Does it say in the Gospels that if you're it's either two or three gathered together in Jesus' name, and their prayers will be answered?
That's written in the epistles. That's not written in the Gospels. I don't remember which epistle, but that's written in the epistles.
So does it not matter what it says in the epistles?
No, he said he just said it was in the Gospels. That's all I'm mentioning.
Oh, okay.
Now
so
the
what's
bottom
the
line
point?
is that's not what the overall point of what I think he's asking me is that prayer is communication with God and God communicates with Christians. My argument goes like this, Thunderfoot. God's immaterial. How does an immaterial God make himself known to the material world? The bottom line is,
G-Man, when two or more are gathered together, their prayer...
You don't want to hear the argument, so you're scared.
No, I just want to tell you that it is in the actual Gospels. I was right. It's Matthew.
So you're scared. You don't want to hear the actual argument. I understand if you're scared, man.
No. I'm terrified.
Yes, you are. Listen, Matt Dillahunty ducked me on this very argument too. So I mean, you're in good company.
Matt Dillahunty owned you on the slavery argument.
He did. Phone up on me.
Matt Dillahunty owned you on the slavery argument, G-Man.
That's ironic.
He hung the phone up on me. That's what he did.
He hung it up because you were wrong and you were done.
Now, the Amazing Atheist and Ben and Thunderfoot, obviously, okay, these guys don't want me to present the argument to you, Thunderfoot. Come to my channel. I'll present the argument.
No. You go ahead. You go ahead. We want to hear the argument. We'll shut up for a second. You just go ahead.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. God is immaterial. How does God make himself known to the material world? God would have to appeal to our five senses. Some of them would be to be able to talk to us. We'll have to be able to see him. We have to be able to feel him, taste him, smell him, or something like that to be able to know that he's actually real. Now, here's the thing. God makes himself known to us. God, Thunderfoot, man. Hey, listen, if you got like ADD, man, you can't listen, man. It's all good.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
You're hitting below the belt, G-Man. You're hitting below the belt. You're making fun of his. No. You're making fun of his accent. Come on, man.
Churio. No,
oh, man. I'm gonna hang up on you. Seriously.
The Amazing Atheist and Thunderfoot didn't like each other. I mean, what's going on here? I thought you guys were enemies.
Oh, he's the one saying Thunderfoot's using tactics, and now he's like trying to turn us against each other. Seriously.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to present
the
argument.
Yeah, are you mad about that, man? You pissed?
That is so manipulative.
I'm disappointed. You guys are trying to run because you don't want to hear my argument. But don't worry about it. You guys are in very big company.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us your argument.
Can you all right, look, I think the problem is we can handle the argument faster. Give us the condensed version. We're just getting impatient with it.
The condensed version is this: is that the way we can keep track of God answering our prayers is with a prayer journal. We can write down when the prayer, when we made the prayer, when he answered it, and the conditions, and how he actually went about answering the prayer. We can do that with intercessory prayer with you too as well. And that would be evidence for the believer that God exists. Okay, and for the person who doesn't believe, if they are intellectually honest about the information that is being given to them. That's the condensed version. There's a lot of it that I didn't talk about. Thunderfoot, I'd like to hear you disprove it. No one can do it. Let's hear you do it. Come on, you can do it.
So you have a prayer journal.
Yes, I do.
And when those prayers are answered, that's how you know that God is real.
And
no.
by the way, the prayers have less answers on them than a magic 8-ball. I just want to say that.
I was about to say, so when can we expect the naked woman avalanche in Mecca?
So he has to ask God, and
Christians don't pray for that stuff. Christians don't pray for that.
So what are the?
Well, actually, G-Man, let me just read you some of the Bible here. Again, I say to you, if thou two, that if two of you on earth shall ask for something in the Father which is in heaven, for whether two or three gather together in my name, there I am in. No, sorry, no, I've got it wrong. I'm sorry.
You can't read or something?
Oh, whatever.
No, I've got the wrong Bible verse. Just give me a second. No, here we go again. No, here we go. Matthew 18:19. Right. Again, I say to you that if two or three on earth shall they shall ask, and it shall be done for them of the Father which is in heaven. Right. So basically, it's Jesus says in the Bible that if two or more of you ask for anything on earth, then God will give it to them. So, G-Man, why don't you and one of your Christian buddies get together and pray for the naked woman avalanche in Mecca?
Okay, but that's not everything that the Bible says about it, and there's more conditions than that.
Yeah,
and you're being
right, but that's the word of...
By reading that one verse.
Are you saying that Jesus was lying? Are you calling Jesus a liar?
No.
Yeah, what's wrong with you, man?
No,
calling Jesus a liar.
Jesus was lying when he said that two of you asked for something.
But Thunderfoot, I understand you're trying to be a comedian. You know what I mean?
G-Man, how could you call Jesus a liar?
I didn't call Jesus a liar.
What I want to know is why is the Bible constructed so poorly where like all of these rules about prayer are like disparate and in different books? Like if the book was sensibly run at all by an actually divine being, you'd expect everything to be laid out by like subject.
What are the answers that God gives you in your prayers, G-Man?
Okay, before I answer that, just
no. Answer the question.
Thunderfoot, if I read the Bible the way you read it, I would be confused too.
G-Man, answer the question. What are the answers that God gives you?
He gives me money when I need it. He gives me wisdom when I need it.
G-Man.
He helps other people. He helps other people when I ask him to do it.
Hey, G-Man.
Sometimes I get a yes, I get a no. Sometimes I get a not now.
G-Man, what are the answers that God gives you to your prayers?
Yes, no, and not now.
3 answers.
Pretty much. Yep.
You should add outcome unlikely, because that's one of the magic 8-ball answers. You could. Well, my sources say maybe.
I mean, you should. You know what you should do, G-Man? You should pray to a different God and see if the results are any different.
Yeah.
No, I don't need to.
Pray to the
I grew up in a Muslim household.
Because, like, you know, I bet you, G-Man, I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to start praying to I'm going to pray to the John Cena that we have here. And I'm going to keep a prayer journal, and I'm going to see what percentage of my prayers are answered and what the answers are from John Cena. Because if that's your evidence of God, then I shouldn't be able to get the exact same result from praying to an inanimate fucking object. But I suspect that I will.
So go pray to John Cena then, and make sure you use the conditions in the Bible too.
Well, John Cena, we can actually hear John Cena though. He actually says things. So there's the difference. You can pray to John Cena and he actually replies.
Yeah, with the recording device, inside your plastic doll.
There's a recording device inside your brain when God talks to you. You know.
Okay, that's a positive claim. Can you prove that?
Can you prove that it's not?
Ooh, you can't prove it. You can't prove it.
Actually, yeah, you can.
Actually, you can't, sir. You can't, sir. You can't prove that I'm talking to myself when I'm praying to God, sir. You know
that. G-Man.
No. You see, this is the thing. We have these things called MRI machines, magnetic.
He's trying to besmirch me. He's trying to besmirch the G-Man, and he can't do it.
What is wrong with you? All right, G-Man. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks, G-Man.
Thanks, G-Man. Always a pleasure. You won.
Yeah, he won.
You won. G-Man won, as usual.
You know, it's a real shame, actually, that the Bible isn't correct. Because, you know, like I was saying, King James Bible, again, I say unto you that if two of you shall agree on earth as